Welcome, family, to our monthly virtual conference. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. I'm glad to have everyone tuning in. I need you all to do me a favor. First, hit that like button, then hit that subscribe button, and share this video podcast on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and any other social media that you are on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This video podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I encourage all of my listeners to please follow me on my Medium page so that you can have access to this transcript and all of my sources. To find my Medium page, just go to my YouTube page, and next to my photo on the far right side, it says more links. Click on it and scroll down until you find my Medium page. Then click on it and look for the exact title of this presentation. Those of you who are serious about doing business with me, then send me your email address to my Facebook inbox, and I will email you everything that I do online. We host our virtual conference every last Saturday of the month until we are able to raise funds for our film project, which is Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. This is a solution-based docudrama based on my experience growing up in the inner cities of Chicago. It's also based on my revised book, and also the reason why I created the grassroots community activist movement. This is our Black Panther moment, except it's not owned by Disney, it's owned by GRCAM members. Join our crowdfunding on our GoFundMe page or on our PayPal page for this historic film project. The donations will help with our marketing campaign, production, and legal expenses to make this docudrama. What made the Black Panther movie successful? When you look at the Black Lives Matter movement and the killing of Michael Brown, we can go on and on. So Black Americans start marching and protesting in the streets. This inspired many Black youth to become conscious of our fate in America. Marvel Studios and Walt Disney decided to capitalize off of Black Americans' frustration by putting out a Black Panther movie, a movie that made Black people proud to be ourselves. I must admit, it was the best film that I have ever seen. Disney knew that the time was right as Black Americans march in the streets against police brutality. This movie, for many of us, represented a win for us. It was a defining moment. We all wanted to be in that Wakanda environment. We didn't make any money from the film. It made $1 billion worldwide. I repeat, it made $1 billion worldwide. I was saddened that the film was not produced by a Black-owned production company. What made the movie a success was the commercials and the sales of West African dashikis. Black Panther on social media was free promotion. I would love to see us put that same energy behind this Black-owned film. Black Panther was well put together. There are certain things about Black culture and Black liberation that were dropped in the movie. It depicts Black people in a positive light. Let's take advantage of the Black Panther effect. These Multinational corporations are creating productions to cash in on the Black experience. The condition of our people has not changed. The Black Panther movie belongs to them, not us. This film project belongs to GRCAM members. We must use the Black Panther movie as motivation and inspiration. What was brilliant about the movie was that it gave us a very powerful picture of what our unity could look like if Black Americans and African immigrants in America work together as a team. Our condition will never change unless we unite with other like-minded Black Americans and other like-minded African immigrants. I don't want to be doing this another 32 years. We have a lot of material to cover, but before I go into my presentation, I would like to encourage everyone on my Facebook friends list, which is 1,952 people. Please join the grassroots community activist movement. You don't have to live in the Black ghettos to be part of us. You don't have to live in the United States of America to be part of us. All I ask is that you purchase my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition, and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan for Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that we can talk about it and get others involved. Also, donate what you can towards our film project. My book is on my Amazon author page, and it's available in two forms. The ebook for $9.99 and the paperback for $15 plus shipping and handling. I also have items on our virtual store to help raise funds for our film project. We have renewed our GoFundMe page. It will be used as an indicator of our progress towards getting this film project fully funded and made. We're using crowdfunding so that everyone knows where the money will be used for. We're asking that you donate what you can. We aim to raise $250,000 for starters. If you are a U.S. citizen, then you can donate through our PayPal giving fund. You can use this as a tax write-off because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, faith-based, and community advocacy organization. So far, only one person have donated towards our film project on our PayPal page, Minister Angelita Sunday. Shout out to that sister. Anyone on my Facebook friends list that's not interested in our cause, then delete me from your friends list and don't come to any events with my name on it. And that's real. For those of you who are serious about being a part of this film project, you can find all the links below this video podcast in the comment section. I have invested 32 years of my life trying to connect with other like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants. I refuse to be ignored. All I have is my revised book, my virtual store, this online platform, and my social groups. This film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group here in America before I cut and run to Africa. The purpose for me doing all of this is to gather like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America to work with me in building a Black institution for our Black youth and their families in Chicago for credibility, to let the Black world know who we are and what we're trying to achieve before we expand to the African continent. Lord knows I would like to do more than just news and social commentaries. But without financial support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to do my God-given assignment, and that is to build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. This is a Nehemiah assignment. I encourage all of my international friends in my African group, GRCAM of Africa, even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share it with all of your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I encourage all of my Christian friends in my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group, and Christian Spoken Word Network. Even if you are unable to participate in these events, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share it with all of your friends on all social media sites that you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I encourage all of my supporters in my secular groups, GRCAM of Chicago and New Black Voices of Media, etc. Even if you are unable to participate in this event, please watch the replay, leave a public comment about it on my YouTube page, and share it with all of your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I would like to personally thank Minister Stephanie M. Seaton and Mr. Furman Jackson Jr. for allowing me to come on their platform to promote my vision and plan for Black America and Africa. Those of you who have large platforms, please allow me to come on your platform so that I can promote my vision and plan for Black America and Africa. I am calling on African immigrants within the United States of America from 10 African nations: South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. We will bring the best of the diaspora to each African nation so that we can set up local chapters and do international trade among our people. We will reconnect Black entrepreneurs with African entrepreneurs, Black artists with African artists. In this Christian business, our objective is to heal from enslavement and colonization. GRCAM will take the lead in solving Black issues within the United States of America before we expand to Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil. Our upcoming events: Tuesday, April 2nd, we have guest speaker Evangelist Rosemary and Chief Apostle Zelda Gardner. Thursday, April 4th, we have Minister Change Tolton. Saturday, April 6th, Pastor Dr. Lavita Williams and Reverend Dr. Felix Emoka. Monday, April 8th, Minister Chantel R. Taylor, and Wednesday, April 10th, Pastor Dr. Denise B. Lawrence and Mr. Vincent Hutchinson. Please mark your calendar for our monthly virtual conference, Saturday, April 27th, where Facebook Live/StreamYard, time 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. American Central Time, 3 p.m. Canadian Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time, and 8 p.m. UK Time. Instructions on how to participate on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Live. This is called Side B. Just click on the link in the chat room and you can speak with me on the show. The title of this presentation: Breaking the Willie Lynch Mentality Within Black America, and breaking the colonized mindset among African immigrants in America and on the African continent. Our first topic, breaking the Willie Lynch mentality within Black America and breaking the colonized mindset among African immigrants in America and on the African continent. I'm using my life experience as a way to help our people that want more out of life. I was raised in the inner city of Chicago. I was dealt a bad hand. I came from a broken family, and I have family members who are full of Willie Lynch. I was able to beat the odds. I was blessed to make it through high school, and I was blessed to make it through college. My life calling is to create a positive Black institution that will serve both the African American community and the African immigrant community so that we can expand this business on the African continent. But we got to get it started and popping here in America first. Majority of my family members are full of Willie Lynch. When I wrote and published my first book, they were not supportive, especially the ones who have a little money. When I published my revised book, they still had negative things to say, but they did not support me. I discussed this in my revised book, and if I am like this with my own family, how do you think I'm going to be with strangers? So those who are full of Willie Lynch, I leave them alone, friends and family members. And I only talk to a handful of my family members, but I just keep it cordial. Breaking the Willie Lynch mentality within Black America is way overdue, and that is why we have so much dysfunction within Black society. It's been 168 years of Pan-Africanism with no results. We're not supposed to talk about this publicly, but I offer an alternative to Pan-Africanism, and that is the grassroots community activist movement. We need to have this conversation, family. I have an obligation to share this information with our young Black men and young Black women. It's been 168 years that Black people have been pushing Pan-Africanism and reparation, and still we have nothing to show for it. I don't want to see our Black youth parroting information that was parroted to me when I was young. It never materialized. They're selling you the same story, repeating ideologies that failed. Ideologies are being sold because it sounds good. Nobody from my generation, which is Generation X, want to have this debate because I was bringing up too much failures, and any young person that would want to have this debate, they're living in a dream. The founders of Pan-Africanism were Martin Delany. He is credited for the term, quote, Africa for Africans. Alexandra Carmel, Edward Wilmot Byland is known as, quote, father of Pan-Africanism, and Marcus Garvey. They started pushing the Pan-African ideology after the end of American slavery. Marcus Garvey migrated from Jamaica to America, and he embraced Pan-Africanism during the 1920s. I was exposed to Pan-Africanism when I was 8 years old, during the time when I was taken out of my home and became a ward of the state. I wrote about this in my revised book. I read many books by Black scholars like the autobiography of Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, and many more. During the Civil Rights Movement, it began to split from a nonviolent crowd to a more radical view. A brother from Trinidad named Skokie Carmichael was given credit for the term Black Power. These brothers and sisters were about the business. The police was beating black people in California, Chicago, and New York, which gave rise to the Black Panther Party. When Alex Haley Roots film came out, then there was a different type of movement happening in America that focused on Africa. The Nation of Islam was starting to make traction, meaning their membership was starting to grow due to the Malcolm X film by Spike Lee. Reggae music was starting to get big, and dreadlocks was starting to become the new fad. This was the era when young black entrepreneurs were selling big t-shirts with the letter X on it. Conscious rappers was also starting to get big in the late 80s and 90s. Black festivals was starting to take off as well. For example, the Reggae Festival, the Kwanzaa festivals, and the Ghana festivals. These festivals put us in a positive light and in a position where lots of black people could gather and interact with each other. The reason why Pan-Africanism fell is because the concepts were not accurate, and still today people are teaching you inaccurate concepts of back to Africa because it's based on nothing other than leaving America and going back to the motherland where a majority of black people live. Africa is full of natural resources, and Africa is the second largest continent on earth. When black Americans travel to Africa, we have to compete against other non-African foreigners like Arabs, Chinese, East Indians, and Europeans, because all of those people are moving there, but black Americans are taught to move there and then build something, while other groups are building where they are at and then expanding their business to Africa. This is the main flaw with Pan-Africanism, because when we go to Africa, we are unable to compete against non-African foreigners because they have large companies in their homeland backing them. They have established corporations and businesses. Most of all, they're all on code with each other. They're coming to Africa with more money and connections to sell items such as refrigerators, home appliances, solar panels, generators, etc. Majority of foreigners own businesses in Africa. What a shame. These are not African. These are people that have an advantage because they are coming with the business already intact in their homeland, and they're expanding in Africa. Usually, black Americans are just coming by themselves as a single Pan-African. And when black Americans come to Africa, they have to buy items from people that's non-African. That's why I'm saying Pan-Africanism is all talk, no action, because black people are being taught to go to Africa as a bunch of individuals, but you're not going to be able to compete against non-African people that's already established there because they have corporations and their governments backing them. You're going to be a consumer renting a place from them and paying them for an apartment and buying goods and services from them. In GRCAM, we will set our Christian business up in America first and teach our members and students to become established first before we expand to 10 African nations. These other groups are bringing what they already have established in their homeland before they expand to Africa. Black Americans are traveling to Africa unestablished. Many don't have the corporations. We don't have the manpower. We're not powerful enough here in the United States. We don't have black businesses on a big scale like that. Preparation is the most important thing, and if black Americans do not unify with other like-minded Black Americans and African immigrants, then we will not be able to compete against other groups there in Africa or here in the United States. The average Africanist ain't talking about this at all. In order for Pan Africanism to work, they have to have an international group. What's the name of the Pan African group in America? Marcus Garvey had the concept to get ships and go back to Africa, but he did not have the investment to pull it off. The white supremacist financial elite felt threatened that black Americans would buy into the idea of leaving the United States. That's why they had him deported. The United States government is not going to back us if we go to Africa. Hell, that's why they don't want to give us reparations. These non-African foreigners are exploiting our brothers and sisters on the continent. GRCAM offers a new concept for Black Americans and African immigrants in America. All you need to do is purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan for Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform so that we can talk about it. Pan-Africanism are going to be mad at me for telling you this, but so what? If you're not powerful over here, then you're not going to be powerful in Africa. There is no powerful Pan-African movement in America. We have no factories, no distribution centers, no manufacturing companies. All I see on social media is a bunch of individuals parroting all that black stuff, no action behind it. Show me you got 100,000 active members. Show me your international logo. Show me black people all across the country wearing your logo and promoting your Pan-African organization. Today, we're just a bunch of black men and black women speaking as individuals for the group, but can't build a group. Until you can get boots on the ground, until you can get a bunch of people to join one movement, then we can do something constructive. That's all I'm trying to do with GRCAM. Our goal is to mobilize like-minded black Americans and like-minded African immigrants in America for us to get our story on the big screen so that the whole black world will know who we are and what we're trying to build, and that is the Kai of Chicago. From the proceeds from the film, and make a real movement within the African American community and in the African immigrant community with real membership, so that we can create real factories with real workers and employees. In America, our black businesses are obsolete, and when inflation hit, then nobody wants to buy from items from us because we ain't got nothing of value. We don't own and control utility companies such as phones, lights, or gas companies. Food chains, the main things for survival. We don't make none of that, but we constantly talk about going to Africa. No type of financial mentality, no type of transportation mentality, no type of security mentality. When the president of Ghana invited black Americans to come back to Africa, we didn't make no request to negotiate. You're supposed to negotiate a deal first. The Ghanaian government made $10 billion. And what did those people get that went? Nothing. Truth be told, black Americans only get together when they go to work for somebody else. We're only good with getting up in the morning and going to work for somebody else. We're not good with getting up in the morning and going to work for ourselves. I predict in my revised book that the Latino community would fight like hell to get their people to become American citizens, because all of these other groups are on code with one another except Black people. This is another reason why I wrote my book. All of the principles in my book is the code for GRCAM members. We will separate ourselves from con artists, degenerates, hardened criminals, off-code Negroes, pedophiles, and urban terrorists. Once we have our physical building intact, then we will encourage local residents on the west side of Chicago and eventually on the south side of Chicago to attend our mandatory orientation, sign our community pledge, pass our criminal background check, and submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database. Anyone who tries to undermine us or change our focus which is to solve Black issues, they will get 2 warnings. The third time, that person or persons will have their name, photo ID, and address printed on our Judas list, and they will be barred for life. This is how I get down. Those of you who are not part of us, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. When I created my nonprofit organization, many of my family members told me to get a real job, which is code for just work for the man and leave all that Black stuff alone. My message is for GRCAM members worldwide. I had little to no support. This is why I am online to recruit brave and smart Black Americans and brave and smart African immigrants. Mark my words, once we get this film project fully funded and made and the proceeds from the film starts pouring in, then everybody in Chicago will want to be a part of us. Ain't nothing changed on my end. Like I said many times before, our first task is to separate ourselves from these off-code Negroes. There will be no corruption within GRCAM of Chicago, at least on my watch. We will have protocol in place in case con artists slip through the cracks. In order to become an official GRCAM member, local residents must attend our mandatory orientation, sign our community pledge, pass our criminal background check, and submit their thumbprint to be placed in our database. What are the benefits of becoming a GRCAM member? GRCAM of Chicago will be committed to improving the African American community and building an alliance with local African immigrant communities around the Chicagoland area. We will offer our members and students parenting classes, information technology classes, blockchain technology classes, coding classes, electrician classes, petroleum engineering classes, landscaping, creating Black empowerment films, oil painting, and journalism. We will also offer associate degrees and vocational training. GRCAM of Chicago will help prioritize the African American community, such as securing our neighborhoods and protecting our women and children. We will offer stipends for Black youth who will act in our films, music videos, and stage plays, depending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer a second chance program to reach out to former gang members, ex-offenders for nonviolent crimes, and homeless individuals within the community. GRCAM of Chicago will be a multi-purpose facility with 2 main sectors, a nonprofit sector and a for-profit sector. GRCAM of Chicago will operate under 9 separate functions under one roof. We will practice group economics in real time by pooling our resources together in order to create and control our own community health care center, community grocery store, and community housing. This will be group economics in action. So these are the 9 functions under GRCAM of Chicago. We will have a social service component, a spiritual component, which will be optional for secular people, a political component, an entertainment component, an entrepreneur component, a health and wellness component, a Black media component, science and technology component, travel and tourism component. I want to grow this platform, and I want my listeners to become GRCAM members so that you can be a part of this film project. And once we get this docudrama fully funded and made, then we can focus on building GRCAI of Chicago with our own studio within the African American community, starting in Chicago. Bottom line, it takes capital. We appreciate the support for the growth. We're trying to take this platform to the next level, and that is getting it on the big screen and then turning this into an international Christian business. I'm not trying to create a small storefront. I want to create a multi-million-dollar international business for our members in America, in Africa, in the Caribbean, and in Brazil. When Bob Johnson created BET, it was successful. I remember BET was educational and entertaining. Our ancestors fought and died for us to thrive, and it would be a shame if we don't keep that legacy alive. Black America, don't let our ancestors die in vain, because we didn't do anything with the opportunities that we've been blessed with. I'm here today because of what my ancestors did in this country. If they didn't do it, I wouldn't be here. We will give our Black youth an opportunity to be in our Black empowerment films, and they will earn a stipend. We will hold Christian spoken word versus secular spoken word. Those who can flow the best will win $500 in cash. Under the for-profit service-based sector, which will be known as the Red Zone, we will offer state-of-the-art recreational center, which will have bowling, high ropes, adventures, captivating game room features, and the latest videos and amusement. Stylish billboards, energetic dance rooms, and quality restaurant. Various businesses, on-site child care, and on-site music recording studio for our members and students making documentary films and stage plays. In addition, we will host family-friendly activities, including combination deals, birthday parties, weddings, and corporate parties and events. Under the nonprofit cooperative, which will be known as the Green Zone, GRCAI of Chicago will be governed by an advisory board. GRCAI of Chicago will be membership-based and operate for the mutual benefit of our members. Also, any earnings we make are returned to our members in the forms of lower prices through our quality programs and services. We will assist our members with their utility bills pending on our budget and sponsorship. We will offer light groceries through our food pantry and tutorial services for Black youth and their families. Here's one reason why African immigrants stay away from Black Americans. In the case of Mahogany Jackson, a 20-year-old sister and mother was found unalive in February in Birmingham, Alabama, authorities said. 8 suspects arrested in a sickening kidnapping and murder. Fair use WVTM 13.
Confirming that an 8th person is in custody in connection with the death of Mahogany Jackson. Police say that they have obtained arrest warrants of felony murder and kidnapping for Ariana Robinson. She is one of a slew of people facing charges. Earlier this week, police announced the arrest of 7 other people in connection to Jackson's death. Every one of those 7 individuals, men and women, 4 men, 3 women, they're charged with murder. All but 1 are charged with sodomy and kidnapping. Mahogany Jackson's body was found shot earlier this week in the Powderly neighborhood. And since Jackson's death, many questions of safety is swirling throughout the community. WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn is live and local for us tonight in Birmingham. Aaron, you learned today more on what people can do if they need help, if their lives are at risk.
Yeah, Brittany, Birmingham police say that they are thankful for the community's help in getting Mahogany Jackson's killers off the street, but they want to make sure, safety experts want to make sure that even though she did everything that she could to save her own life, they want to make sure that people know what they can do if they fear for their own lives and making sure that they can save someone else's. This is a case that shocks the conscience. This is not your normal case, and I'm going to go out on a limb in any state. Mahogany Jackson's death, leaving the community shocked. Nearly a week later, Mahogany's death is indicative of many other homicides that we've suffered in our city. People that know one another are choosing violence against their fellow brother and sister. Birmingham police believe Jackson was killed by people who were acquaintances to her, but detectives working the case are grateful for the community who stepped up with information, leading them to justice. The community stepped up immediately. You have a 20-year-old that died a horrific death, and the Birmingham Police Department was able to arrest 8 people responsible for her murder. Police say after Jackson was kidnapped, she did what she could to try to save herself, and safety experts want to make sure everyone is aware of safety features if their own lives are at risk. Even texting 911.
If you contact 911 directly, that circumvents any delay that is in the system, and 911 also has the capability of sending you a hyperlink where you can basically share your exact location within just a few feet.
William Missildon with the Alabama 911 board says the best thing anyone can do is be familiar with how their phone operates. Simple everyday notifications can put your safety at risk by using your location.
Be really familiar with how that is set up within your device so that you know who all it notifies.
Now, 911 operators via text are available across the state. Mr. Don also says that when you are talking to a 911 operator, please be honest and as transparent as possible about your safety concerns and avoid using phrases and cheap code words like, I want to order a pizza, to make sure that they can get you help as quickly as possible. For now, we're live in Birmingham. Aaron Llewellyn, WBTN 13.
These were all black people that's melanated, that looks just like us. And again, that's how come I call for, that separation between, degenerate people and hardened criminals, urban terrorists, you know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at. I ran across a YouTube video entitled, quote, non-black American people finally doing the math after we gave them the answer sheet, unquote. So fair use YouTube.
It's very interesting to me now seeing all of these people from different walks of life, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different countries, different races, get online and start picking apart the United States of America. And I'm a I told you so type of person, and I will vote. And I will not have any shame doing so. It's very interesting watching them draw conclusions that we've been screaming from the rooftop and screaming from the mountaintop for centuries. But no, y'all thought we were lazy. Y'all thought we were entitled. Y'all thought we just wanted handouts. Y'all thought that it was us. Y'all thought we were the problem. No, we've always seen this country for what they are. We peak game before anybody else do. And it's particularly interesting when black people from other countries come to the United States with all of their preconceived notions about who we are, as if we just have all of these blessings at our fingertips and we're just squandering it because we're lazy and ratchet and ghetto and don't want to work and don't want to be educated. Anything y'all can possibly do, we've already done. Period. Period. So the irony is thick when y'all get online and start complaining about the cost of living. Listen, complaining about the poison in the food because of the position that Black Americans and the route by which we've become American, because of that positioning, we know the game. We peaked the games long before anybody else peaked it because we have more foresight than y'all. And it takes other people much longer to do the math, including white people. We've always had our food poisoning.
We've always had our physical persons being experimented on. We've always had been charged prices higher than everyone else. See, and people come over here and they act like we're the problem and we're lazy and we just don't have it together. But we know the games that they play because we've been through and seen the underbelly of this country. We've seen the darkness that this country is. But y'all thought y'all were going to come and get a different result. Y'all thought y'all would come and you could play the game better and actually win. And I just sit around when I see people making videos, when I see people of color and white people and black people from other countries that live in the United States and have been here for a while and is finally doing the math when you could have just listened to us, especially if you're black and from another country, because you came and stood on the foundation that we did, and you have done nothing. There is nothing anybody can do in this country that black Americans haven't already done, period. But you thought you could play the game better than the people who understand the rules. Cackles at black America.
We talked about these issues for years, but people outside of the black ghettos tell us to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps and get your own insurance. Now other Americans are complaining about the same issues. They can't afford quality health care. For example, American citizens want the Biden administration to lower the cost of insulin and other life-saving drugs. Yet, places like California are offering free health care to the immigrants. These politicians don't do anything for black Americans. They don't listen to American citizens. They are more loyal to corporations and foreign governments. More people are voting their concerns about certain issues. 2019 was when things in America started to change. First, we were hit with the pandemic, which literally destroyed Western nation economies. I remember Bill Gates was talking about how bad the pandemic would be in Africa, and many of the white supremacist financial elites were thinking that they would recolonize Africa and get all of her natural resources. I believe 2019 was the start of God's judgment on Western nations. The Western nations have destabilized so many third world countries that people from those nations are going to Europe and America. Their global order is going to change because they're losing influence in the world. In my revised book, I talk about the rise of Russia, Iran, and China, which will be the beginning of World War III. Our last battle in America is for reparations. These construction companies prefer to hire migrants because they can pay them by half the price they pay American workers. All of a sudden, white America are complaining about the migrants taking their jobs. Everyone that comes to this country feels they have to stay away from black Americans. They get caught up, as the sister said, they find out the hard way. Let's get to gentrification. Y'all had no problem when black Americans was being gentrified out of our neighborhoods, out of our households. We said, hey, these developers are building condos while hijacking up the property taxes who can't afford it. We have to move out. You should have been advocating a law to stop that when it was happening to black Americans, but now it's happening to your people. You can't afford your house anymore because they inflated the value of your home, inflate your property taxes. Now your mortgages has gone up because of the property taxes. Every time black people build something in this country, it gets sabotaged by the white supremacist financial elites. For example, Black Wall Street and Rosewood, just to name a few. Your politicians are giving your tax money to migrants in the billions. Now you see how we feel when You want other groups of people getting things that's rightfully yours. Now you want to complain about the high cost of living. Black Americans have been saying the rent and light bill is too high. Black America has been struggling with the high cost of living for a long time. Y'all didn't care. Our people were together for survival. A black man and black woman working together to survive for the community. I ran across a YouTube video that talked about black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean harboring anti-black American sentiments. Fair use, black congregation.
No one, and I mean, no one does anti-blackness better than a black immigrant, or like a black person from the Caribbean or a black person from Africa or wherever else in the world that doesn't like African Americans. No one. And it's not even funny anymore. Well, just concerns because they be the greatest. But they'll say the most out-of-pocket, outlandish stereotypes or negative thing about African Americans, and I have to think to myself, where did this come from? Who told you this information? How do you know this? And it's even crazy because sometimes you'll find people that haven't even been to America, has never encountered an African American in their lives saying these things. And it's crazy because the way they talk about African Americans, you would think African Americans are the furthest demographic from them, right? Put a black immigrant that can't stand African Americans on the phone, and you'll be talking to a nationalist. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're thieves. This is what they do. They're criminals. This is what white people say about you. Like, you keep that, right? You understand that. This is how they look at all of us combined. Like, before opening your mouth, you think white girl Becky's gonna know that you're Nigerian and the girl sitting next to you is African American? Like, even if you had an accent, they'd probably say it's AABE. At this day and age, 2024, it should not be pandering to white people. Where has it gotten you?
I found another video, this time on TikTok. This is a person, I would say, from Ghana, speaking about Pan-Africanism, and so we're going to play that. Fair use, TikTok.
Americans. Can we just keep
Okay, I'm going to have to play that again because my camera, for some reason, stopped. It froze. So we're going to play that again.
Americans? Can we just give up on this whole Pan-African one love, brotherhood of man and sisterhood and all this, we are one and all that? Listen, let me tell you the reality of the ground, yeah? The average Ghanaian wants to go where you've come from. Let me tell you that is a fact. I've worked for the British High Commission before for many years. I've seen Ghanaians come in with documents showing they've sold their land, taxes, houses, even farmland, just to raise the money to get a visa to go to the UK. All this preaching about Malcolm X and what's the other one, Marcus Garvey, and we are all one. Sister, brother, they are not interested in that. Let me teach you key today. We need money because the average Ghanaian needs money to chop, to eat, to pay school fees, to open up his kiosk every morning to sell. The reality on the ground is life is hard in Ghana. They all want that life that you don't want. I'm a prime example. It's like we've crossed lives. We in the West, we want to come to Africa to enjoy because we're done with there. We've been there, done it, seen it. They also want to go there to do it, see it, done it there, to get money, to build houses, to have a better future. Some Ghanaians hate Ghana. Let me tell you, I know Ghanaians that say they hate Ghana for everything that it stands for. So please, all this coming in
like you are the black savior to come and teach Africans about pride and self-worth and knowing that you're an African and coming to teach and preach. Sister, brother, save your breath. They're not interested. They don't even know what you're talking about. Because for them, it's survival. It's survival. Every day in this Africa is a survival. Light off, no water, living conditions. And you're here coming to talk about Marcus Garvey. That's not going to feed anyone here. If you want to come and embrace Africa with all your beads and all your braids and your your dreadlocks and your dashiki, and you want to have that true African experience, wonderful. And leave the Africans alone to fight for their lives and get on with their lives. The preaching is enough, please.
Before we launch our African tours and Caribbean tours, we are going to learn how to get along with one another through GRCAM of Chicago. Please leave a public comment on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this video podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, Tyson Foods has fired 1,200 American workers while hiring 42,000 migrants in New York. The Democrats are destabilizing the country by supporting open borders. Ladies and gentlemen, there are American citizens on the streets, but the Democrat Party don't care about Americans. They are focusing on foreign nationals based off of what they are doing. It's up to black voters in Chicago, New York, and around the country to send a strong message to the Democrats in November. These corporations want low-skilled workers. Such companies like Tyson's Food undercut the American workers by hiring the migrants. Black Americans need a referendum on the Democrat Party, and any company that prioritizes migrants over American citizens is anti-American. I repeat, any company that prioritizes migrants over American citizens is anti-American. We need to do the economic boycott against such companies. For example, these career politicians are trying to get rid of American citizens while they are flooding the zone with migrants. Dr. King Jr. understood how to use economic boycotts. He understood that America is a capitalist system the white supremacist financial elites depend on. Everybody depends spending money. If people don't spend money, then their economy will crash. For example, during the pandemic, people were not spending as much and prices began to drop. What will it take for the American people to boycott Tyson Foods? I found an article from Daily Mail entitled, quote, Tyson Foods Boycott, as it sacks 1,300 staff at Iowa pork plant and offers job and lawyer packages in bid to hire 42,000 asylum seekers in New York, unquote. According to the article, it said Tyson Foods have fired 1,300 American workers while hiring 42,000 migrants from New York. Tyson will pay migrant workers $16.50 per hour and offer free on-site child care, free housing, and free immigration lawyers. The Montgomery bus boycott was very successful due to our ancestors not riding the bus for a year. Our ancestors fought for their dignity and self-respect. America had to change the law in the Supreme Court. We better confront these career politicians, corporations, and let them know that this will not be tolerated. Our Our career politicians are in the pockets of these mega corporations. I'm proud that Black Chicagoans are starting to wake up. They don't want to hear, quote, vote blue no matter who, unquote, any longer. This country has not made it right with Black America. We should not give these career politicians a pass. Notice the majority of your Black Democrat politicians are affiliated with the Black Boule. They are attached to some sororities and or fraternities. The Black Boule don't have our best interests in mind because they are in the pockets of the white supremacist financial elites. Notice the Black Boule don't talk about Black empowerment. In fact, they are Democratic shields. Their job is to misinform Black voters to keep us voting Democrat, which 90% of Black Americans have been doing for the past 60 years, expecting a different result. I predict the migrant crisis in my revised book. If Black America keeps putting Biden back in office, I promise there will be no Black community in our urban areas as we know it. If he wins a second term, he will continue his policy and allowing everybody to cross the border. The Democrats will try to give them citizenship to solidify a new voting bloc for the Democrats. The Black vote will be neutralized. Understand the political game. 12 million plus people are going to compete against you and your children for resources. If you vote for Biden, expect more migrants coming to Chicago, New York, Denver, and Boston, just to name a few. Black Americans need to push back because these career politicians want to destabilize America. Understand, most empires have failed from within. They were not invaded. These corporations and both political parties want to destabilize America because these corporations help fund the Democrats and Republicans. That's the problem. We got to push for term limits. We need like-minded people from Generation X, Black millennials, and Generation Z to run for public office from the soil, the Black grassroots. These career politicians who are tied to these corporations need to be voted out of office fast. Everything goes back to slavery. American corporations don't want to pay American workers a fair wage. When we talk about reparations, that's a debt which is owed to descendants of American slaves. These reparations would stimulate the American economy, but all that money going to migrants actually is transferred outside of the United States back to their homelands. In the beginning, America had chattel slavery. Corporations were getting free labor. Then after slavery, Black Americans became, quote, lazy, which we didn't work for free. All these groups coming over here have no investment in America. These mega corporations don't care about American citizens. Black people have been losing their jobs. Now you see how unfair things are. Dr. King Jr. tried to help us get our check. Now America is going to pay a lot more with these migrants. They're getting your jobs. America needs to make Tyson Foods pay for their action over this issue. The Biden administration and the Democrats are anti-American. They don't care about the American people. All they care about is foreign nationals and getting paid. Y'all keep voting Democrat if you want to. I promise you won't have a country for your children. Biden is not going to shut down these mega corporations because he doesn't care. Don't demonize the migrants. Keep the focus on Democrats and American corporations. Please leave a public comment on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this video podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our third topic. Donald Trump delivered a message to all Christians in America. According to the Bible, it says God used the foolish things to confine the wise, and that has ways are, and that his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 27 and Isaiah chapter 55 verse 8 through 9. God raised up kings and he teared them down. And it's a significant thing because it signifies a time frame. I found a YouTube video about former President Trump reaching out to Christians in America. Fair use for breaking news.
Proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day very hard to keep Americans protected. Also the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this God Bless the USA Bible, and it's very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul. Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America, to make America great again, is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack, perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again. Pray, get educated, get motivated, and stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man, both as a talent, but maybe even more so as a human being. He's very, very special. And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless the USA Bible now and help spread our Christian values with others. But there you have it. Let's make America pray again. God bless you, and God bless the USA.
We need to focus on what moves are being made. We know that the Bible says in the end times, a lot of things will happen. We know that we're living in the last days, living here in America. The eyes of the world are on America. We influence the rest of the world. That's why it's important you know who is leading America, what kind of legislation is being passed, and if you are a kingdom-minded person, you're looking at America from a kingdom-minded viewpoint. You notice something is wrong. It is our job to represent the kingdom on this planet. God put Adam to have dominion in the earth, and most Christians will tell you to stay out of politics. The Bible says, acknowledge God in all your ways, and he will direct your path. Proverbs 3rd chapter, verse 6. We see that politics have Politics affects Daniel in the lion's den. Also, the three Hebrew boys and even Esther, because they are people that use legislation or the media to promote evil agendas, and we know that the Antichrist is going to use politics. The truth of what Trump is saying, the Democrats have taken the Ten Commandments and prayer out of public schools. Now we have school shootings across America, and we have been warning about this for a long time, that the further we get away from God, the worse things are going to get. God uses the foolish things to confound the wise, right? If everybody could just understand the importance of treating one another equally, then this would be a great country to live in. The way we are going will end up destroying this nation. I wrote about the dynamic Hollywood influencers, the white supremacists, financial elites, the Freemasons, the music industry that are pushing all of this degeneracy on our children. The Bible says, broad is the way that leads to destruction. Matthew chapter 7, verse 13 through 14. If you don't have the Spirit of God, what spirit is making you unite with spirit, is making you come in agreement? And so the Bible talks about the gods of this world has blinded them. The Bible talks about the spirit of the Antichrist. What I'm saying doesn't make sense to non-Christians who don't like the truth. Most people are saying Trump is pandering to Christians. Would you rather have someone pander to Christians as opposed to someone who is openly against Christians? The power that be is trying to indoctrinate our children and push us to become a Sodom and Gomorrah country through legislation, through mainstream media, and through the music industry. The Bible says, acknowledge God in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. I challenge any Christian to tell me that you prayed about it and God told you to vote for Joe Biden. As soon as he got into office, he started promoting the LGBT agenda again. There's an anti-Christ spirit behind it. I talked about the secret societies on this platform, such as the Freemasons and the Black Boule. Let's keep it a buck. What Trump was talking about came true. For example, he said, let's build the wall because there's going to be a problem at the border. The Democrats said he is racist. Now the Biden administration is blaming Trump for the migrant crisis, not his open border policies. What Black America need to realize is that this is all done by design, a system called white supremacy. The white supremacist financial elites want these people to become the new voting bloc while neutralizing the black vote. If the Democrats really want to help these people out of the kindness of their heart, giving illegal immigrants millions of dollars, free health care, free housing, and food, then why don't these same politicians give reparations to the descendants of American slaves? They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing this because there's an agenda behind it. The Lord has given me an opportunity to have a global audience, and He wants me to recruit like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants to help me build GRCAM Chicago so that we can expand this Christian business to 10 African nations. God is going to bless it, and in this season, we need to build. We need our own Black institutions. We need our own farms. We need our own trucking companies. We need everything to prepare for what is to come. Black America was not prepared for the things that were coming, but Black America did not want to listen to me. if you watch my past video podcasts, especially during 2020, you will see that I've been warning Black America not to vote for Democrats, but demand tangibles for our votes, regardless which political party, but especially from the Democrats, since Black Americans have been voting for them for the past 60 years. Biden has been so horrible. I said this was going to happen. And so you have to understand, I personally believe that God wants to give us another chance to get it right and to get this film project fully funded and made. The powers that be want to know what type of Christian you are. Do you support the LGBT agenda? Do you support a woman's right to choose? A lot of Christians are bowing down under pressure. God has given us a sense to prepare and to build GRCAM of Chicago. And I believe Joe Biden, he's a Ahab with a Jezebel agenda. Wake up, Black America. Work with me so that we can rebuild the African American community and form alliances with the African immigrant community across the United States of America. We need to be in building mode. If you want to support what we're trying to do in Chicago, I need all the help that I can get. First, purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan for Black America, then make arrangements with me to come on this platform and let's talk about it and encourage others to get involved. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Please join GRCAM by joining either my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group, or Christian Spoken Word Network, or join my secular groups, GRCAM of Africa, GRCAM of Chicago, or New Black Voices of Media, etc. Also exchange emails with me so that way we can stay connected, because this is my third Facebook page. Hackers are forever bugging. Please leave a public comment on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this video podcast with your friends on all social media sites you are on. This will help get the ball rolling. I would like to thank everyone who have contributed or will contribute to support us on our PayPal page, purchasing items from our virtual store, or purchasing my revised book. The ebook is $9.99, or the paperback for $15 plus shipping and handling. We appreciate your support. You can find all of the links below this video podcast in the comment section. If you're listening to this audio podcast on Spotify, just click on the YouTube icon and look to the far right next to my photo. It will say more links. Click on it and you will see the About section. Then scroll down to links. Okay, y'all, we're going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to wait around for about 15 minutes. If I don't hear from anyone, then that's going to conclude our video podcast for today. But I am going to wait around to give everybody an opportunity to participate on side B. This is for Q&A. Any questions that you want to ask me, you can do that. But I encourage people to come on the show. Get on camera. Don't be ashamed. We're just having a conversation. All right? Again, I appreciate everybody that's on my friends list. I pray that everyone would get involved, become GRCAM members. Because again, I can't do all of this stuff by myself. I did the best that I can. I have the idea. But I want my members to work with me to help turn my ideas into a reality. Stop supporting the dope man. The dope man, he is selling his street drugs now laced with fentanyl. That's not cool. He's messing up the black community and it's destroying the black family. Support me. Yes, I sell ideas. That's what I'm about. and I want to turn my ideas into a reality. And I want to work with my people that's trapped in American ghettos first before I go to Africa. And all the stuff that I went through trying to get this business, started and everything, I want to make sure none of my members would never have to endure such foolishness that I had to go through. That's why this business is personal. It's not just a business as usual. And some people, I would say that want to talk crazy to me. Say, look, I'm not interested in you. I want to know about the business. Well, at this point in time, I am the business. I am the grassroots community activist movement in the flesh. But we're going to turn the ideas that I have written down into reality. All of my members will be considered sales, and I would say healthy sales. And our goal is to make sure that we weed out and come against those cancer cells. Those are the ones that's going to try to destroy this positive business. So we want to make sure we rid ourselves of those people, and those are off-code Negroes and those that want to undermine us. So there are consequences in this business. I come against any con. If I find out if I have any con artist that's in our midst, we're going to make sure that their name, photo ID, and address will be placed on our Judas list, so that way everybody will know to excommunicate with that person, and they will be barred for life. This is why I want that thumbprint to be placed in our database, and that's why I want people to sign our community pledge. Again, we're not forcing people to be a part of us, because this is membership based. Again, I'm just raising the bar, that's all. I come before you all with clean hands. I'm not running for public office, and I expect for people that's going to be a part of this organization, the grassroots community activist movement, to come with clean hands as well. All right? And again, what makes us different than Pan-Africanism is that at least we have God in ours. We have a spiritual component where people can learn about the Lord, because He's the one that gave me this vision in the first place. And I want to use this business for the greater good, not just for to say, how smart to prove to people that how smart I am. It's not about that. It's about, actions speak louder than words. So I want to make sure that we're making a positive impact in the Black community, and we're going to have we're going to do community research. So we're going to measure our progress on a monthly basis, because I want to make sure what's working and what's not working, and make sure that all of my members is going to benefit. I say my members because you're going to be part of those who become members of GRCAM. Then you're going to be part of my members. That's just how it is. And my pledge to you is that I'll work with you and your immediate family members for life as long as you're an active member. But right now, I just want us to focus on getting this film project fully funded and made. Those that make donations to this film project, we will mention your names in the credit section of the film. But I got to see that you, contribute. Now, if you want to be anonymous and give, that's on you. But if you want me to acknowledge you, we will. So I'm praying that God would give everybody that's on my friends list a heart of flesh. Read my story first before you do anything. If you disagree, like I say, just delete me off your friends list, and we can remain strangers. I only want GRCAM members to come forth to work with me to help turn this thing into a reality. I don't want to be doing this another 32 years. This is why the Lord allowed me to create this platform. Trying to connect. Trying to get my message out there loud. I want to be heard loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that we just weed out, people that's that want to undermine us, that don't have no ambition. Those are not the people that I want to work with. Black America has two choices: either embrace annihilation or embrace survival. I'm only working with those that want to survive and want more out of life. With that being said, phone lines are now open.